Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll take you through an update of my 6,000 point Astra Militarum army build and also show you what I've been up to over this past week. In this video I'll bring you right up to date with all the progress made so far on my 6,000 point army build. There's just 3 weeks left of my 12-week army build challenge, and I'm making good progress so far. I've got quite a lot done, and I'm working through most of the miniatures now. I've got about 120 or so left to paint, and so I'm trying to do them in big batches. But over the past couple of weeks, I picked out some of the units and just got the paint recipe just how I want it. So now I'm happy that I've practiced it enough. I'll do some how to paint videos really soon, just to show you how I've painted the different models in the army. The vehicles are pretty much done now. I've just got to go back and do some of the details like the commanders and the tank riders, so I've got to paint those models in. But I'm going to leave the weathering for now and do that later on. I'll do some separate videos on weathering and tank damage. The big flyer's done, and the huge tank, the Baneblade, really happy with how that came out. And then I've also got the Morok terrain painted up to the first stage, and that's going to be used as the HQ terrain set that I'm building for my jungle theme. Let's start with Nork the Dog, and I built him as Nork, but I'm also going to use him as a regular Ogren as well, so I'll have that option of doubling him up in the armour. I could also use him as a bodyguard as well, so loads of options with this guy. And there's the two other Ogrins, so I've got a set of 3 that I can play as a unit, and I even proxy these as Bullgrins as well, because I think that works. And then the first ones to be killed will be generally these. But really happy with how the skin turned out on these. I tried out a different one here. It's a bit lighter, and this was my first go at trying to get this right, and it's a little bit too smooth, not much definition there. So I definitely improved as I went through the Ogrins and the Bullgrins. And with this one I was more happy. Up close it doesn't look so good, it looks quite patchy, but the idea with these, once you're a few feet away playing on the table, all those colours really blend in nicely. So I'm much happier with the one on the left, more defined than the one on the right. Once I built my Ogrins, I had lots of pieces left, so I took some Gutbusters I had from Age of Sigmar, and I've turned 3 of those into Bullgrins using the shield and the clubs and everything, and also the shoulder pads. So I think this has worked out nicely. Again, great to practice the skin on these, and I did these ones after the Ogrins, so I was much happier again how the skin was improving. So I'll do a video on how I painted all these skin tones, because this is what I'll be using throughout the army on my Catachans and the Cadians as well. And I've really enjoyed painting in this traditional style of doing like the base paint, then the shade, and then the different highlights building up. And I've done the same here on the Catachan model. These derpy characters from 1999 is the date on the sprues of these, which I think is awesome. Last century models with some Anvil Industry heads and backpacks has really brought them to life and modernised them. And so yeah, I'm really happy with how these have turned out too. Here's another guy here. So I've got the colours right for the vest and the trousers too. And it's not trying to be super neat here, it's just getting those highlights on. And again, once you put them back on the tabletop and you're standing a few feet away, then all those different lines you put on, you don't notice how messy they are, and I think that really works. So I really like this style, I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's a fun way to paint because you can be quite free with it. Once I'd painted that 10-man squad, I was really happy with the skin recipe. I've gone ahead and started painting in all the skin on all the other models now. So I've took them to the stage of 2 thin coats of the Cadian flesh tone and then 1 Reichland flesh shade over the top, and then I'll do the highlights of 2 different coloured paints over that. While it's boring doing just this one colour in these big sections like this, it certainly gets things done quickly. So I'm going to do the same with the 2 greens for the vest and the trousers, and then I'll go back and just do a unit at a time highlighting them. And here's a close-up so you can see what that skin looks like just with the Cadian flesh tone and then the Reichland flesh shade. And I've also done a Zenithal highlight on all the models for the army. Now, I don't think this is really going to come through once I start putting all the layers of paint on, but it was good for me to practice with the airbrush to do this. So yeah, I really wanted to get that practice in, and this was the perfect way to do it. Over 100 models, all Zenithal primed. But it did work out really nicely on this guy. This is Clyde, and he's going to be a proxy model that, whoops, just dropped him, Let's get him back up there. He's going to be a proxy model that I'll be using as a psyker for my Catachans. And this is Jokero, so he's a Games Workshop model. And I got some sticks, primed them, painted them back to look like sticks, and put him on top of them. And I think that looks really cool. So I'll be doing the basing later and putting lots of jungle basing materials on this, which is really cool. I can't wait to do that and share that with you. And then I think this is going to look really nice. And here's the Ministorum Priest, just one coat of corn red. That's the colour I'm going for all the berets and all the little accent colours throughout the whole army. So I've just done that one coat, and I've also done this Astropath model in the same colour, and so I've got to do all the highlights and everything on that. Now this is from Anvil Industry, this one. I think it's great for an Astropath, and so this really fits in with the vibe I'm going with, so really happy with that, because I don't really like the Astropath that you can get for the Games Workshop version. Then I've got this guy, Captain Cadia, another Anvil Industry model. Had to get this one from their World War II range, but I think he's going to fit in brilliantly. And with the star on the shield, that's going to match the dice I use, these Flames of War dice. So really happy with this too. I've done a few videos for the Morok Kill Team set, and I did some unboxing videos and things like that, but now I've actually primed it, put the highlights on, done a bit of Zenador spray on it as well with different greens, and so this is the foundation for the paintwork I'm going to do on this. I've got quite a bit to do though to add all the highlights, metallics, creams, reds, those kind of colours, again to tie it in with the theme of the army. And then this is going to serve as some of the main buildings that I'll be using in my jungle terrain set that I'm building to play with and display them in. This is a really nice set of terrain, so really happy that I picked up that Kill Team box set. Since we saw the leaks for the new Sentinels that are coming out, I thought I'm going to grab one more because I did want to have a unit of 3 Scout Sentinels, and I really like this style. I'll be using the new ones as Armoured Sentinels, but for my Catachans, I really like these ones. I think they're fantastic. So this is the 3rd one, and I've just put this on those logs, Endor style, as if he's been shot and falling over. Here's all the vehicles lined up, so these are pretty much finished now. Again, I've got to do some weathering and battle damage, but otherwise really happy to get them to this stage. This is the kind of look, I wanted them quite crisp, and just with the 2 colours for the camouflage, and then that highlight is as far as I want to go right now. So this is great, brilliant, tabletop ready, good to go. And then once I add some mud and stuff later on, then I think that's really going to bring them to life, make them a bit more gritty. And I've got all the weapon options magnetised for the different ones. I've magnetised all the missiles and everything for some of the vehicles too. And then this one I can change over and have 2 different vehicle options with. But the Lehman Russ I've done a painting video for, if you want to check that out. And I go through how I did like things like the spotlight, all the different motifs, all the details, and going again in a different style. Most of the time before, I'd paint with contrast paints, but now I'm trying to go a little bit different, more down the traditional route, spend a bit more time on it. And so, yeah, I'll go through all these different elements of the tank in that video, but then I've got to go back and start doing all the little tank commanders and things like that. But that guy you just saw earlier will be my version of Knight Commander Pask, and I'm going to give him a different name, I think, too. But one of the final steps I'll do before all that is to do the transfers on the vehicles and weather those up too. And then the big job is to get some basing done. Now, I've done the basing for my Cadians, and the idea is the whole jungle theme throughout the army. But the Cadians are more on the fringe of it. Maybe they're kind of in the camp. And so I've gone with the brown mud as the base. And then I've just put a little bit of the jungle grass from Gamer Grass, and they've sent me a load of these out for this project, which I'm going to be sharing with you in detail in a good few videos soon. And then I used some grass green flocking, and then that was enough just to give a nice simple base. But here's all the Gamer Grass products that they sent out. So I'll be doing a video showing you how I'm going to base the Catachans, because I'll be going more into the heavy jungle now and using a lot of these in that. And I've also got loads of other projects that these are going to be featuring in, which you'll be seeing over the next few months too. So yeah, really happy with these Gamer Grass products. They're fantastic. Can't wait to show you these ones in particular, the Bracken. They're going to look great with that Clyde orangutan you saw earlier. That's really going to give that jungle vibe to the army. As well as working on the Astra Militarum build, I've also been working on my own book, Weekend Warriors, and this weekend I've got an event where I'll be demoing the game in my local store in Liskeard in Cornwall, so if you live anywhere near there, come along, check it out. I'll put a link on my Facebook page so you can get all the details there, but I've been preparing some models to take along to that, so I'm doing a lot of the Northumbrian tin soldiers, some I've bought from Etsy. Got Sir Brian of Blessed there, he's really cool, again all Zenithal primed. And then I've just been working through putting contrast paints over this guy. Really easy. Zenithal primed, one contrast, and you've got a really nice texture there as well. You can see you've got all the highlights on the top, and then I'll just do the wood and then base all these using a lot of that gamer grass stuff as well. So you're going to see that on these. I've got this guy who's my like wizard character, and then the Guardians of the Riverbank set, one of my favourite sets of any game ever from Northumbrian Tin Soldiers. Can't wait to get those painted up. And a hedgehog. And of course, can't forget Moley. I've got to do the Zenithal on him and then include him in that set of 5 as well. This past week's been really busy because I've also been getting ready the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness box set. And so I've got my models ready. I've done the paint recipe now, going for a nice, quick, easy, tabletop ready look that I think works really nicely. Again, from a distance, quite messy up front, but when you put it a foot or two away, it looks a lot better. And then the bases I've gone for a scorched earth, ash-covered urban environment. And I've done a video on that on the channel already. And now what I'm going to do is finish painting all the other models from the set. So I've got the Spartan here. I've just primed that black, put a grey spray over the top just to give it a little bit of a highlight. And then I'll do all the edge highlighting on that and just dirty it up a little bit on those tracks. Great model, big brick of a beast of a machine. And then I've done the same with all these models, primed them, gone down over the top with a grey, and then I've done all the bases, so that's ready. So now I've just got to do all the line work on this and get those ready to go. So they'll be done by the weekend. Also built and primed 1,000 points of Raven Guard, ready for the combat patrol battle reports I'll be doing on the channel. And I've built and primed the Blooded Kill team, some Infinity models, and then loads from the Northumbrian Tin Soldier collection. So you're going to see lots of those featured very soon. So yeah, all primed, some Zenithal, some not, some still metal, but at least everything's assembled and ready to get painted now. It was really cool to see the Astra Militarum and all the points updates and available free as a downloadable PDF from Warhammer community site. If you haven't got it already, check it out. I did a quick video looking at the Astra Militarum points, but I completely missed that if they haven't got the weapons listed on there and the points, then they should be included in the value of the unit. So for example, the heavy weapon squad is a cost of 50, so that should include the points now. You don't have to pay extra for las cannons, so that's a brilliant update. Over the next week I'll spend a bit more time really looking at these lists and putting together some different point values for these new updates. So it's just coming up to about midday today, and for the rest of the day and this evening I'm going to be making 2 videos for KR multi-cases, and KR Cases sent me out a load of products to use for my Astra Militarum army and some others. So we're doing a collaboration where I'm sharing the system with you, so you'll be able to see how their system works, how you can easily put it all together online for the army you have, and then I'll show you all the different variations, the foam inserts, and exactly how it works. But a brilliant system, and that's what I'm working on today. There we go, big update, lots going on, really busy over the past few weeks, and thanks so much for following along with my Astra Militarum army build. Now I'm happy with the paint schemes. I'll do more painting videos like I did with the Lehman Russ, and if there's anything else you'd like to see or you've got any questions, let me know in the comments section below. It's always great to hear from you, and I really appreciate your support. But hopefully you liked the video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.